Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Brittany. I am a new dentist. I graduated in June 2020 and I've been working dentist for about over 2 months already, which is amazing. This video I hope you will find very helpful, and it is about how much it costs for me to get my dental license and pretty much the steps that I had to take to get my California dental license. Now this is specifically for California, but I feel like even if you were wanting to practice in other states in the United States, it would still kind of be applicable because you would kind of know the ballpark and the types of things that probably each state would look for. Again, it's not exact, but I think it will still kind of be very helpful to kind of give a general idea. My dental school never told us. They kind of just threw us to the wolves and they were like, okay, you go get your license. And we're just like, huh? What's going on? Let's get to the video. The very first step is to take your licensing exam. And I've talked about the REB in a previous video, so I will link information about that and my video over here, somewhere here. So in about a year ago, in September 2019 of my D4 year, so September my D4 year, the school told us to apply for the REB. So the REB actually is quite pricey, and it's the priciest thing in this whole process, but it was $3,135. We were originally supposed to have our test in March 2020, but of course everyone knew COVID-19 happened, pandemic happened, everything shut down. So we ended up taking the actual test in June 2020. Months go by, and then the next step would happen around May 3rd. This is when our school sent over the California Dental Board license application papers, as well as the law and ethics application papers. They sent it to us by mail, and these were 2 separate applications. And the first one was the license application. It was $400. You could either fill out the application with paper and send a check and send it to the Dental Board of California, or you could go to the Dental Board of California's website, which I will also link down below. It's called like Breeze, and you could online pay through that and also online fill in your application. So some noteworthy things about the license application is that you are supposed to send in a 2x2, I think, a passport photo of yourself. And then there's like a whole bunch of questions about like your past, have you committed a crime or anything like that. And then there's this very important letter that the dean from your school is supposed to sign off on. And that letter you have to also send to the Dental Board of California. And I've heard that this letter kind of causes a lot of problems. So in my school, I've had some classmates whose license applications did not get processed because they claimed that, or the Dental Board of California claimed that the dean's signature was not there, like the dean's letter was not there. And so that kind of caused a problem between like my school and the Dental Board of California, because my school had to, re-get those signatures out to the Dental Board of California. So that slowed the process down. Another thing is I've heard at other schools, and I was talking to somebody who graduated from a different university a couple years ago. She was saying that they actually had to hunt down the dean to get the signature, and that was kind of a trouble by itself. For my school, they already mailed us the letter to mail to the dental board, so it was a little better, but like I said, things can kind of get jumbled up in the mix. So that is the license application. Then there's the law and ethics application, which also came in my packet, and it was $125. So this isn't even the application to take the test, it's the application to make sure you're qualified to take the test, which is a little bit confusing. So I sent those in May 3rd, 2020, and I received a mail, an envelope back in May 21st, 2020 from the Dental Board of California saying that they've accepted my license application and they're reviewing everything. So pretty much in May, I was kind of like sitting tight because I knew that I had to take the REB, and the REB was in June. After the REB test, you had to make sure that the results from REB were moved on over to the Dental Board of California. And for me, it was automatically done But I don't know, I've heard that if you want to practice in other states, you kind of have to contact their dental board and contact the rep as well to send it over there. You also need the national boards 1 and 2 to be sent over to the state that you're interested in practicing, which I already did. Please, when you're taking your national board, by now it'll probably be 1 and 2 or even the integrated, make sure that you click the states that you're interested in so it automatically sends, because if you don't, you will probably have to pay another fee to get those results sent over to the dental board, which is another fee. We don't want that. That was in June, and then in July I got my Livescan Fingerprint, which was $74, send it to the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I can't commit a crime anymore, or you know what I mean, I would get caught because the government has my fingerprints. And then in July 9th, 2020, I took my law and ethics exam at a testing site, and that was $22.50. So that was different from the law and ethics application. And right after I passed my law and ethics exam, I emailed my analyst. So when you get the mail from the Dental Board of California saying, hey, we're looking at your application now, on the bottom of that mail, there's a person that you can get in touch with, and they call them the analyst. So I called my analyst, she didn't pick up. And here's the thing, the thing about Dental Board of California is it's very difficult to get a hold of them. I've had friends who had problems with their applications and be on hours on hold trying to call the dental board and no one picks up. So thankfully, even though my analyst, she did not pick up, I left a message and I also sent her an email, and she was very good about that. And so I sent her the email saying that I've took everything, I got all the components, I just passed my law and ethics exam. Please let me know when you get everything, because pretty much the checklist on Breeze online is different from their checklist. It's not updated very well. So I would highly recommend talking to your analyst and telling them hey, did you get everything? Did you get my fingerprint? Did you get my national boards exam? Did you get my law and ethics? Did you get my rep? There's just so much. It was processing. So on July 16th, 2020, I got an email from the analyst saying that, hey, everything's checked out. All you need to do is pay the fee for your actual license. So this is where it kind of gets a little confusing. So in the Dental Board of California, they have a prorated system, and it's depending on your birthday and your birth year. So essentially, those born in an odd year have to renew their license every odd year. So I was born in an odd year, so I would have to renew my license next year in 2021. And if you were born in an even year, then you would renew your license in an even year. So those who are born in an even year would have to renew their license in 2022. It's all very confusing. I'll link a PDF. They calculate things based on what month and what year you were born. It's all very confusing, but the range is, the lowest you would have to pay is $81.25, and the highest you'd have to pay for your license only is $704.17. So it's a huge range. I ended up paying $270.83, and they basically just, when you put your birthday in and everything, they just spit out a number for you to pay. So after I paid that, they sent me an email. They already gave me my number, my license number, which is really fast. And they told me that my pocket license and my actual license, the big certificate, would come via mail. Now I asked the analyst, could I have a PDF file of the pocket license? And she was like, sure, of course. And so she sent it over to me very promptly. But I've had some friends who ask their analyst if they can send a PDF, and they're like, no, we don't do that. So it really kind of depends on your analyst, which is kind of annoying. July 24th, I got my small pocket license in the mail, and then on July 24th, I got my big license, my big certificate license. While that was going on, right after I got my license number, I signed up to get an NPI. I think it's a provider number. I'll also link the website for it below, and rejoice, because that's the only thing that costs $0. So I ended up signing up for the NPI and getting that number the same day in July 16, 2020. You can get the NPI once you get your license number. Then I hopped on over to the DEA, which is pretty much the license to prescribe medications. And this one is a big price too. It was $731 and you have to pay this every 3 years. I applied for in July 17th, but I did not get my DEA number and certificate until August 14th, 2020. So this one takes a long time. Once you get your license, then pretty much you can go ahead and get malpractice insurance. So you have to have malpractice insurance to practice. And I ended up going with TDIC, which is the dentist insurance company. And I ended up going there because I've had a lot of friends who already went with it and it seemed okay, you know? Like it was a big company. I've had other friends look into other insurances, so definitely do your research on that. But the first year for the TDIC malpractice insurance was $50. But of course the next years is just gonna get increasingly higher. Here's the thing, like with these things, like the more you renew, the more and more it gets higher. So that's kind of unfortunate. I ended up paying that in August 11th, 2020. And pretty much after this, they send you kind of like this, they ask you, okay, when do you want to practice? And I think I said I wanted to practice like the next Monday. So they sent over kind of like this temporary malpractice paper. It's good for 1 month. And then they send you an invoice via mail, and then you send a check, and then you get like your real, so it's like real and it's not just 1 month. There's also disability insurance, which is optional, and pretty much if you get injured and you have this disability insurance, you're able to use it, which is really nice. I ended up not getting it for now, just because it was pretty pricey. It was about $700 a year, and I'm still trying to look into that, like whether I want to get it in the future or not. The last thing that I paid for was the CPR because I had to renew it. It was $50 and I took it in July 9th, 2020. So that was pretty much it. Those were all the pieces. So I ended up paying a grand total of $4,858.33. Yeah, and they didn't tell us about it, you know, like it was totally unexpected. It's a lot, and it shocked me that we needed to pay this much just to be able to practice. So that's how much I paid, but of course, based on the actual license, you know, from the range from the $81 to the $704, you could probably pay from a range of $4,668.75 to the highest would be $5,291.67. And that's not including the disability insurance if you want to do that. Some things that I felt like could really speed up the process is, I felt like the limiting factor was me, is even though I had pretty much everything prepared in June, I felt that I should have taken my law and ethics exam and my Livescan Fingerprint sooner than later. I ended up taking my law and ethics exam in July, and I felt like that was the limiting factor. I had a couple of classmates that got their licenses super fast, and I think it was because they were able to take their law and ethics exam right in the beginning. But it was kind of difficult for me because just because of COVID-19 and the testing center shutting down, July was the only availability they had in my area, but I felt like some of my classmates were able to take it in June. I think on my end, I was really lucky and everything kind of like went pretty smoothly. My analysts were really prompt and nobody lost my dean's paper, you know, so all those things that could happen. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found it informative and kind of eye-opening, and best of luck to all of you getting your licenses and, you know, taking the next step forward as dentists. Hope to see you in the next video. If you're a pre-dental student and you're watching this and you're just like, oh my God, like what is going on? Like I'm not even in this stage. Like don't worry about it. It's gonna happen in the future, but it's really good that you're wanting to be prepared. And speaking of pre-dental students, if you are interested in doing a mock interview with me, or you're still working on your personal statement, which I highly recommend you guys turn in your applications. It's already September. You can go ahead and check out my website. You can go to dentalschool.com. And I know I don't really talk about it, but it's there. And so I love helping predental students with predental coaching and helping them specifically with those things. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.